So let's work, people. This is a working space and I'd like to get to work. We had a few things in the mix last week, and one of which was what part of you doesn't want it. And I've got a feeling that most of you didn't really need to search too hard for that. Is that true? Didn't really have to look too hard about the parts of you that aren't on board with you actualizing your potential, that don't care about finding out, uncovering your puzzle piece and actualizing that. So that's great to be aware of and to have a spotlight on those parts. I'm sure there's more than one. Yet, of course, we're forward facing and we're always focusing on our yes. And we're not focusing on our yes so to deny those parts. We focus on our yes so to dredge those parts up, so we can be really clear on what is not in alignment with our yes and where we're going. I shared last week, a big part of this process is working with the future master self, but also the 12-week self. You're feeling into that potential of what could happen. You focus on that and you allow that part of you to draw it towards you, and you connect with it and you go towards it. And then the only thing that stops you from actualizing that is you. You feel the potential, you're working with your upstairs, you feel your potential, you connect with that regularly, not just once and then 10 weeks later you look into it. A big part of this process, as you may be becoming aware of, is being very proactive and creating a schedule that supports your success and that demonstrates that the most important thing to you is actually the most important thing to you. So if stepping into the fullest of your potential is important to you, then you orchestrate your life in such a way that reflects that. And then again, the only thing that will stop that from happening and manifesting is you not following through. So I'd like to open the floor. I'd like to know what's going on. Let's get to work. This is a supportive space, a working space. I want to know what's going on for you. The daily process, I've heard from a few of you about that. How's that going for you? How much resistance has been around it? Have you had some wins with it? Because that's quite a powerful resource, and those practices, there's a lot in that. There is a lot in that. So what's going on? Let's get through some stuff tonight. Yeah. Couple of things there. It's great if you're starting to feel that it is a training ground, because if you can really, if you're conscious of that, and then you can partner with life because you know that you're being trained, then it changes everything, because the challenges are just there so you can grow, and it's all helping you become that future master version of yourself. So it can just become a little simpler. You see life differently. It's not just like, oh, I'm just faced with all this stuff all the time, or internally or externally. It's like, hang on a minute. All of us on this call, but even in the school, have put our hands up to replenish the ranks. Well, basically, that's why we're here. And so mastery, let alone being spiritual warriors, that's not going to come easy. And we all need training with it, because we're living, it's 2025, everything's changed. A lot of the stuff and the ways that we used to do things, they're no longer relevant. So we're in this beautiful position where we're so supported. We've got all these energies working with us to really help us not only heal, but to be trained into these roles. And all of us will have our own roles, and it's unique for everyone. That's why our lives are all differently. Our training will be different. But in saying that, there is some overlap with all of us. There's some overlap with qualities that masters and warriors embody. So that's awesome. If you're really feeling that, work with that. And it just changes everything when you really know that. And for me, it's like, yeah, train me. I've been saying that for years. Train me. I want to learn. Show me. Train me. Mold me. That's the language that I use. And because I'm conscious of that, I'm partnering with life in a different way. So challenging situations for me, are very much like, well, what Amy has said a lot as well. This is going to be the making of me. What can I milk and extract out of this? No matter how big or small it is, little irritations, massive intense feelings. I just feel it in my beingness. I'm like, this is my own unique stepped out path to mastery. Thank you. It's delicious to me. Like, I really eat it up. And I know that the universe is partnering with me so to get me in that perfect position and role that I've been emanated from source and embodied to play. And that's quite exciting, because the more you partner, the more conscious you are of that, the more assistance you get and the more synchronicity there is. And it's just wonderful, Deb, because the insights that you can gain, the learning that you can gain, and just the different angles that you can see situations and life generally from, because of the assistance and because you know you're being trained and it's all for a reason. It's really quite magic. The boredom goes. The boredom really goes. Really on point with all that. And also, I'm quite aware that you do have a lot of heavy and dark kind of stuff. You said sloth, but just heavy stuff. And we're all going to meet that sort of stuff. So be kind to yourself and gentle with yourself, and also exactly what you're saying there. The key is to focus on that, yes, to focus on the most important thing, to focus on that higher part of you. Hopefully you've been having some wins with that, or discovering yourself anew, discovering that part of you anew with the daily focus, because that will absolutely pull you through this stuff. It's through that connection that you will receive the flavors of love that are required, whether it's wet blanket stuff or rage and everything in between. If you're partnering with that and you're doing that every day and you're building that bridge and that connection, and everybody, listen, asking for assistance, that's okay. That's really okay. We've got cheer squads here. Use it up. Yeah, I want to be helped by those ones that have trodden this path. Of course I do. I don't want to be spoon-fed. I don't want any free passes, but I absolutely want to be tutored by ones that are already where I'm going to be. So yeah, all of that, wonderful. And the best thing you can do as well is be really honest, which you are being. It's like you're just being honest with the stuff. You're like, I've got a lot of work to do with this stuff. This is present for me.
Yeah.
Just reveal it all. If you reveal it, then the light, the love, and the insights can be made known to you. If you're avoiding or denying it, or you're unconscious to it, it's just nothing can get in. So we're unfurling here, and this is part of the training as well, is we've got this tendency to contract and to curl over our wounding. If you guys were there at class last night, I was very much like, chest out, guys, heart open, chin up. If you feel parts of you wanting to do this, even just your body language, you stand up tall, you're in your alignment, and you just hold yourself in that space, and just connect and receive and allow yourself to be moved. So awesome. I love the feel of that, and just, I don't know, you just felt clear when you were sharing tonight, and that's great. That's great. So just keep going with it. Who else is in? Who doesn't want to share? Are you coming off mute to share? Awesome. Let's go. Yep. And that's okay. And also there is, like you said, a sweetness in there as well. And it's okay to have both there. But yeah, we need all flavors. Absolutely, we need all flavors. So wonderful if you're starting to connect with your heart and it feels like it's opening a bit for you there. So I would get a hold of that, remember that feeling, and be fanning that and going deeper and expanding that, because love is the key. All love. Expand it, make it as big as you can, and all the flavors of it. So I would encourage you, keep going with your focuses and just keep fanning that. get it as big as you can. And we need no bullshit love on the planet. We need ones that can say no to bullies and no to the things that are happening that aren't about love and aren't in alignment with evolution and where we're going with this planet. So we need no bullshit love, and that's okay. And within all that, some of us have a tendency, or our natural love is more in that realm, and we need to then develop the more nurturing, gentle side as well. Because like I was saying last week, it doesn't matter if you're embodied as a male or a woman, we need both flavors. Both of us, both sexes, both genders, doesn't matter what we're embodied in, need to be able to keep villains at bay and also need to be able to nurture the newborn baby. We need to be able to do both roles. And you have a whole retraining to do and reprogramming because of your upbringing. Because as a youngster growing up, you experienced so much that was the complete opposite to love from people that are meant to be loving, nurturing, caring, uplifting you. So there's just rewiring that needs to be done, and that can be petrifying, absolutely petrifying to those parts. And so you just need to be big mama to those parts, and this is a learning for you. So, well, what is love then? What is love? Because right now you might have a perception of what it is, but I would just let all of it go and let that beautiful one that you're connecting with and your heart show you, and the ones around you. Okay, then, I don't know what love is. I know what it's not because of this fucked up stuff that I've experienced, and that's not okay. And show me what it is then. Partner with life, partner with that big self, partner with your heart, put that into your daily focus. I don't know what love is. I don't know what being loved is meant to be like. How do I receive love? What is it? Show me all of this stuff, and let yourself be guided, let yourself be shown. And petrified parts, my friend, lots of them. And that will be ongoing, and that will be very much a lot of people's experience, because there's a reason why we're uncomfortable with letting the love in, because it just wells up all the stuff we've been running from, all the pain. So there will be that process, but the best thing that you can do is be there for yourself, coaching, reparenting, and with courage, just stepping in anyway. And that's a part of this daily process, is connecting with that love, connecting with the source, your local source, and beyond that, trustworthy sources of love, building that connection, building that relationship, so that you can just start unfurling and opening the door on this trauma and these things that you've experienced that need more love in there. It's your own love. It's not dependent on outside sources, but we're open to unconditional love and above. And if there's beings there wanting to love you in that way, we're going to receive it, whilst fanning our own heart, our own love, and soaking ourselves in that and getting that as big as possible as well. So how's that sit for you? Indeed. Yeah, affirm that and make that so. Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you. It's lovely to have you here. Keep going. And a lot of us just have so much warped, backward, twisted ideas about what love is because of our upbringing. And what can we do with that? We just expose it and we ask, well, what is love? We ask our own heart, well, what is actually love? Because there's going to be funky stuff in there for all of us, really. Because we've soaked in a lot of bad behavior, a lot of not love dressed up as love. Laying it all out. And just like I was sharing with there, well, what is love actually? What does it look like to be loved? What does it look like to be engaged in the culture of love, and how can I play my role in that? Show me. I really want to know. What else, people? Oh, there's hands up. They're really little on my screen. Yes. Where are you? Oh, good. I can see you. That's brilliant. It feels like big changes afoot there, mate. And there's a lot in what you've shared. And it's interesting that I've heard a few people say over the years about they don't want to be needy. And there is that fine line. That's why at the top of the document it says don't engage in this process unless you're ready, because there is that if you're not serious about it, don't do it, because you waste their time. But at the same time, working with us is part of their evolutionary journey. It's how they grow. It's not needy at all. It's like that's part of how they learn and grow. The ones that we're calling in, they're like, yeah, if you're serious, I've got to keep saying that. If you're serious about it, because if you're fickle about it, it's not a good look. But if you're serious, that's how they grow, to be working with us on the ground. So they love it because they're fulfilling their purpose. It's more frustrating if we're not, because it's like, well, there's plenty to do, but they're part of their job. So it's like, don't be stingy with our love and don't hold back. It's like us not engaging in that way in many ways is not serving them, and it's this two-way kind of thing. So yeah, absolutely. If you're serious about it, put your hand up and receive the support. And the more you demonstrate that you are serious about it, the beautiful and the deeper and the clearer the connection comes. And there's this synergy that builds in this momentum that builds with it. And yes, all the important stuff there, it's like we can say this is the most important thing, but when we look at our life, it's just obviously not. Because if it was the most important thing, then this other thing wouldn't be happening, or this other thing wouldn't be happening. So it's great to just audit our lives in that way and just get really clear, because in our hearts there is a singing for and a knowing of what's the most important thing. And then it can be quite stark. Well, my life isn't reflecting that. It's like I'm putting a bit of energy in here because it's important to me, but there's all this other stuff that is obviously more important to me. And it can also take some time to shift the boat around after decades of doing it in a different way. It can take time to reorchestrate, so your life does reflect. So it does become the most important thing all the way through. And, there's big changes for you coming up, mate. So it feels like more of an alignment happening with all that, more in alignment with your puzzle piece and that spiritual path. I loved how you were saying it there with your master self. It's inevitable. And the thing is with this, when we feel that future master self and we can really get a tangible sense of that, that's the track. That's the freeway we want to build. That's why I'm saying daily. We're building a freeway towards that. And the probability of you landing there becomes more as you keep connecting with that, and the gap shortens and shortens and shortens. It might be at 10 lives, but you start consciously engaging like this and it starts stepping forward, because this one is already there. It knows what needs to be done. It knows what needs to be cleared, and you're partnering with, and you're really taking instruction and applying yourself, letting go of things, cultivating this skill, clearing that, doing whatever's required so you can put your feet where that one is standing. The probability and the gap shortens. So it's just a wonderful lucky band kind of effect that brings those two together. So beautiful. If you can commit to that, great that you've got a couple of weeks, so you can definitely lock it in and see how much progress you can make with that. And yeah, absolutely go for it, my friend. Go for it. Honestly, go for it. There is so much that you have been carrying around that could just be, it could just be gone. Really. I'm just done with it. What's next? What's new? Good on you, mate. Thank you. Thank you. And I'll throw in some stuff in the mix there, which is for everyone as well. If you've got something like that happening in your space, work with that, with the ones that are there. It doesn't need to be push that away because I've got to be doing the column and the feeling through the bodies and the self-love. If that's present and that keeps coming in, it's associated with wounding because there's fear around whatever it is, with the stuff that you've talked about. So it's just like, hey guys, here I am. And this is really in my field and space. Let's look at this. Help me through this. So it's just being adaptable, and it's like, you don't have to be rigid and strict with it. You do need to be disciplined, and there's ingredients and recipe and all of that stuff. And yeah, you want to be in a clear space and follow that recipe and be disciplined with it. However, if you've got this thing that just keeps popping in like that, instead of being like, just go, all right, I really, I would love to be doing all this other stuff, but this is what's present. This has helped me with this. And so you could have deep insight, clearing and healing, and trace that back, because we have talked about getting back to the origins of all that. So I would just, and that's for everyone. That's for everyone. That's if something's really present when you're sitting down to do your focus, work with it in the space. If it's so that's an option. Because if it keeps coming in like that, it wants to be sorted. So you might have 5-10 minutes and it's done, and you can get on with the other stuff. So yeah, just be fluid with it. And there's no black and white. I say be fluid with it, but that's not saying to the ego, you can be distracted and, you're having wandering thoughts, so bring that to the session, because that stuff that's been laid out in the resource is building the freeway to where you guys say you want to be. It's building that freeway. It's how you can really actualize and step forward and closer to that master self. Yes, and the reminders. It got to the point for me that I want to be in that space as much as possible. I want more of that space with my focuses. So it just became very clear when I wasn't in that. So I've got reminders. I've got these things that I implement during the day. And the more that I've done that, the less I need that now, because it's there, and I'm just, I'm out of that space. And you got to work harder out in the world. You got to work harder, and it's a skill to develop. Part of our mastery is being able to engage, do our work, be a person out in the world, grounding and expressing love, but also at the same time holding that solid presence, and not just holding it, building it constantly, because we're building and grounding and expanding that. So yes, absolutely, and that's for you and everyone. It is nice to have reminders. And it's great in the morning if we can do that hour of power and set ourselves up. However, top-ups during the day are absolutely going to be required. We're all busy, we're all engaged, the world's heavy. So yeah, absolutely, that's helpful. Thank you. Yeah, understandable, there'll be sadness there and grief. That's just lovely to hear. And there is a warrior attitude in there, and as painful as that journey's going to be, at least you're cracking into it, right? And it's just lovely to hear. So it sounds like a big shift, and just keep going with that. Just keep healing. Yep, I know that's in you, my friend. Absolutely. It's just choose love, like you said, and that's, again, for everyone. Just choose love, whether you're feeling it or not. Focus on your yes. Hence the question, what's the most important thing? Get that in your awareness. Don't just get it in your awareness once a week. Drill it in the morning in your focus. Drill it at night in your nightly review. Have your setups during the day. Honestly, you are just going to turn the tap on to the point where you don't need reminders. Can you feel the process here, what's building? Can you feel how important it is to have this discipline and have it daily? Because as you're doing that, at the moment, you've got a drip. You've all got a little drip, some a bit bigger drip. But what you're doing is you're starting to turn the tap on. And not only turn it on, wrench it on and land it and have that pulled through into the planet. So the more you do that, the more you build that freeway. You build that column, you build that bridge back, and you ground that. You're feeling through all of those beautiful bodies, and you're starting to get energy through more of yourself. Proactive process. We're getting energy moving. I'm here. We're getting the attention of upstairs. We're making some noise. Because if you're on this call and you're doing the daily focus, it means you're serious, because that was part of the contract of saying yes So energetically, you've signed a contract to say, I'm up for this and I'm going to follow through with it. You're getting the attention of and demonstrating on the ground that you mean business and you're ready to serve and you want to know what's in the way, but you want help to clear that and to turn that tap right on. So that excites me. And the thing is, you feel the momentum starting. It might be hard at the start, it might not be hard at the start. Everybody is different for everyone. And everybody is in different phases as a soul and on the ground now. We're all in different phases. It's going to be different for everyone. But if we put energy in regularly, then the flow starts happening. There's more energy connecting and the momentum builds. And that's going to help you with the gnarly stuff. It's going to help you clear and it's going to help you highlight all of the stuff that isn't in alignment with that. We know that. But it also helps you clear it. There's more love. There's more love there. And because you're spending this time focusing in the morning and hopefully evening as well, doing something in the evening. I mean, I do something very similar twice a day. It's just always in our awareness. It's always in our awareness. Then wake up, it's just there. The momentum's building, the synergy's building. I notice when I'm out of that space and I want to be in that space. So it highlights what needs cleared, but also there's more energy, the tap's on more, so there's more love to help process it through. Does that make sense? That's what you're doing. You're just putting energy into it. And eventually, the ball starts rolling itself. You put enough timber on the fire, it just starts raging, and you don't need to throw as much timber on because it's there, it's already blazing. But you can just keep throwing the same amount of timber on if you want to make it massive. Does that make sense? It's just so much. There's so much dormant parts of ourselves that are just sleeping and they're just in slumber. They're there, but we need to live. We need to be proactive. We need to get energy moving. So that, very much that's what this is about, is just dedicating at least an hour a day to that. And then things really can start changing for all of us. It warms me to hear you sharing there. Keep going. It's really awesome to hear. Thank you. Okay, great. Yes, great. And we spoke last night. I know you're having some wins. I know you're having a lot of wins. So just keep going with it. Don't look back. You're not going that way. So just forward facing, keep going, and be open to the magic. And you don't need to know what's cleared. You just build on what's working, focus on what's working, and just build on that. So I think it's lovely, and I think it's lovely that you're dancing and you're having some real tangible experiences of actual shifts. And the thing is, like we've said so many times, that you put an energy into it every day and eventually the bucket's full. Things change, and you have been working a long time on a lot of this stuff. So eventually it adds up and there can be real transformation. So that's awesome, and I appreciate you sharing that, and we champion to just keep going with that. Just keep going with it. You want to know what's next. You want to know what needs healing. Just keep revealing, keep surrendering, and no limits. This is for everyone. No limits on it. We limit ourselves so much. And hopefully with these meditations and this focus, you can start getting a sense beyond the limitations, beyond the self-imposed limitations, beyond the beliefs that are stopping you from being all in and stopping you from really acting from that radiant soul and from your heart and living. There is a big component to all of this, is living again, starting to live again. And some of you are at class last night and online. It really is like, start living. And it's understandable that parts of us are just dragging our heels because we've been here for so long and it hasn't been rainbows and lollipops the whole time. So, But again, deeper, higher, wider, there's a part of you beyond all that that's skipping with joy to be involved in this. And I can feel there's so many parts that are like, fuck you and no fucking way. But it's true. There's a part beyond all of that stuff. And those little bits are baby bits. Really. They're baby bits. If you really connect into Radiant Soul, all those little bits, they're just baby bits. They're little. Very little. Expand. They're all little baby bits from that soul ID, from that bigger perspective. They are little baby bits that can be hugged up and cleared quite simply. So it's all in perspective, really. It's really all in that identification. So keep going with your focuses. If you've started that, hopefully you have, and hopefully you did that first part of it as well, where you set up the meeting and really sounded your note and set that up for 3 days, because then things really shift. And also, I would encourage you all to invite your ones that you're working with to these classes as well. There's quite a few of them here anyway, but invite them. Say, hey, we've got warrior class at this time as well, and that can also be helpful for the group and you as an individual as well. How's that for you guys? Are you getting something? Did you get something out of it? Yeah? All right, great. Honestly, you all could make huge progress in 12 weeks. If you really want it, you stick to the sadhana, I'm going to say again, you stick to the process, you keep putting energy into it, you just focus on what's most important to you, you get up in the morning, you know, whether it's written down or you spend some time, what's the most important thing to me, remembering that, have your reminders during the day, before you go to bed, this is the most important thing, just keep building on that. Keep putting energy into it. Keep fueling your yes. Keep fueling that feeling sense of where you could be in 12 weeks. Keep fueling that connection with future master self. You just keep putting energy on it. What you focus on grows. Align your focus. Stop focusing on all the negative, what you've done wrong, and what's not working for you. Focus on what you want, where you're heading, what is working for you. Not to avoid those things again, but to dredge them up. We want to dredge them up. And they can be lapped up in our wake as we're streaming forward to that thing. And just let all those parts come up that don't feel like they can do it, that want to curl up on the couch, all of that stuff. Let all those parts come up. And there's no right or wrong, there's no one way. Some parts you're going to need to be gentle with. Some parts you're going to need to kick their butt a little bit. So you just be earnest in your own heart and feel what's required for each part that presents. But a huge part of it is, like we're sharing there, is that surrender. So much more can move through in that surrendered place. Chest out, heart open, chin up. How are you holding yourself? Where are you tense? Where are you curled over? Heart open, chest out, connected. Thank you. I'm here. I'm taking up my space. I'm okay. I'm meant to be here. I belong here. And you hold that. And you let anything that's not in alignment with that, all the fear, all the terror, all the pain, just come up and into your heart. Thank you. Release. This is what's most important to me. And you keep building momentum and keep heading in that direction. And it will be so. I love you guys. Glad that there is some things changing. And there's actually a lot changing for a lot of you. And a lot of you look really different. I saw quite a few of you in person last night. And it was quite palpable that things are changing for some of you. So that's brilliant. Let's build momentum on this. Let's keep supporting each other as a group and just keep heading toward that felt potential.